Hey everyone, welcome back to yet another video. Today I'm going to be doing another episode of the Typewriter Chronicles where I give you advice on how to write awesome shit efficiently and productively. And if you are a new writer and if you're like, I want to write a book and you don't know where to start, this is like a very simple guide to how you can write the book. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it. First, you need to brainstorm. You need to find an idea and actually have something to write about. Write down any ideas for the book, and the more you can write down, the better, because you just need something to work with. It's not enough to just know, I want to write a book about, like, elves in the modern world, but you need to know that you want to write a book about elves in the modern world. In like this year, you want it to be a romance. You need details and the more you can come up with, the better. And of course, you're not gonna know everything immediately and you're gonna figure out some shit along the way, but like the more you know right now, the better. And you just need an idea to work with, preferably as many characters as possible to work with. Definitely the main character or like their love interest and just all the most important characters. If you're gonna dump ideas of all kinds, it's not gonna be clean and beautifully organized, which we're gonna kind of do in step 2, which is outline the book. Outlining just means basically coming up with the plot, the subplots, and all that shit. So here in the outlining process, you just want to basically come up with the whole plot. And again, the more details you know, the better, because it's like this. I actually wasn't really an outlining person, and I only now like started outlining, because the way I wrote before was just, you know, I came up with the idea, I came up with the characters, I knew where I wanted the story to go, but that's where that's all I knew. I recommend outlining to everyone, and like the way you do it is up to you. I personally don't like outlining per chapters. It's just, maybe I'll get to that point, but right now I really just don't want to. But if you want to outline chapters, that's great, because like the more you know, the more you figure out during the outline, the more you plan the story, the easier it will be to write it, because you won't exactly, you know, if during the outlining process you're gonna eliminate plot holes, or most of them, then like it will basically go smoothly, because you're always gonna know what to write, because you'll know what the plot is. If you don't outline, there are gonna be many spots where you're gonna be like, I don't know what's gonna happen now, and that's not the best. So take your time and outline the book. Figure out everything. If you want me to, I can make some videos on specifically on how to outline, or any of the things that I'm mentioning in this video. If you want me to do any of that, please leave me a comment down below and I'm gonna get to that. Moving on, the probably longest part, or like so far in what I've mentioned, is write the first draft. Write the actual book. Pretty self-explanatory. I think we all know that that's kind of necessary. If you're a newbie, I have some advice for you. This is not going to work for everyone, but it's what I think personally really works and could work for a lot of people. What works for me is not editing it throughout writing the first draft. We're gonna go over the book a million times after writing the first draft, but I feel like the first draft is the biggest milestone for a lot of people, because sure, there's a fuck ton of other work involved, but like the first draft is like writing all the pages, all the words, and I think that just takes the longest, and so it can be really difficult for a lot of people. And especially if you struggle with being a perfectionist, or if you always just spend a million years editing and you feel like writing the first draft takes you a million years, try not to edit throughout writing the book. If you outline and you really figure out the plot, the whole plot beforehand, it's gonna be way easier for you to write the first draft smoother, because those who don't outline then have to edit so much more. And so if you do outline, then it's not gonna be that much of a mess. And of course, it's not gonna be perfect, because the first drafts never are perfect. A lot of newbie writers, or people who aren't writers at all, have this belief that books are just written in the sense that the writer sits down, takes their laptop, and they type the entire thing, and bam, that's the book. That's not how it works. It doesn't work like that for anyone. So no one's first draft is perfect, and so don't try to make it, like, don't expect it to be perfect. Expect it to have flaws that you will fix later on. Even Ernest Hemingway said that. The first draft of anything is shit, and that's okay. And just write it, you know, get the story out of you and then worry about editing it and making it better later. The next step is go over the whole thing and edit it. I think this, like, the next point after this is to find beta readers and then go over it, and sure, you could do that after the first draft if you feel like the book is presentable and you're okay with other people reading it, and then like edit it with their help. But what I would suggest, what I think is better, since the first drafts are really messy and all over the place and there may be like tiny things missing or tiny weird things that don't make sense or whatever, and also lots of typos, it'd be better if you just go over the whole thing and just edit it, try to make sure that everything makes sense. And what I've done in the past and what worked great for me is that I took a step back from it. Like, I wrote the book and then I had like a few weeks off and then I went into editing it, because I feel like that works great, because it's like you forget it a tiny little bit. Obviously you still know the story, you still know what happens, but if you immediately go into editing it, which of course if you want to do that you can, but I just think that it's good to take a step back for at least a week, because then you read it also more as a reader than just a writer, and you want to read it as a reader because then you're gonna see what doesn't work maybe a little bit more. And next, like I said, find beta readers, which I actually just made a video about, so I'm gonna link it down below if you don't know what beta readers are and when you should, yeah, just everything is covered in that video. And yeah, I hope this video was helpful. Please, if you enjoyed it, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like this. I've been making a fuck ton of writing videos and I hope you've been enjoying them. And yes, that's gonna be it. Again, if you have any requests, any things that you want me to talk about more that I mentioned in this video or anything, tell me. And yeah, have a brilliant day and see you soon in another video. Bye!